legal aspect. The legal requirements for establishing smart grid sensors in the UAE include compliance with FEWA and Emirates regulations, obtaining permits and licenses from relevant authorities. The UAE administers strict data protection and privacy regulations, including the UAE Personal Data Protection Law. Implement cybersecurity measures to protect data collected by smart grid sensors. Smart grid sensors must adhere to international and local standards. The task involves creating liability frameworks, securing suitable insurance coverage to mitigate potential liabilities and risks linked to smart grid sensor deployments. The goal is to prevent the infringement of existing patents or intellectual property rights by deploying and using smart grid sensors.
Coming on to our political analysis, the current rate of activity is not fast enough to lower carbon emissions. And while certain policies exist to deploy technologies, the political will is lacking. Prioritizing lowering carbon pollution is a difficult but necessary decision. Smart grid systems offer more advantages over conventional electrical systems. But government regulators must monitor electricity rates and profits. Secondary policies supporting renewable energy, energy security, and efficiency indirectly support smart grid growth.
Now, financial analysis, as you can see, quantum dot materials, fabrication process, materials cost, fabrication and equipment, labor cost, testing and validation, overhead costs are our main cost. So total fixed costs come under 385,000 and total variable cost comes under 352, 3,300, and this is our break-even point analysis. And a conclusion, so UNSDG, our smart grid sensors help us increase the energy efficiency, and it also helps us integrate the renewable energy sources such as windmill and solar panels into the grid, and then reduction of greenhouse gas emissions is also possible with our nano grid sensors. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Team Brainiacs. Our next team for today afternoon is Team ISPF Year 12 from International School of Creative Science, Naval Shiva.
Yeah, but yeah, we just want to do it. Yeah.
Hi everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Mariam from the International School of Creative Science. So our aim is to reduce global warming sustainably, and our product is called chimney. So you may be wondering what chimney means. If you're new here, you might have a few hints. So the word chimney is like an Urdu word. It translates to sieve. So it's basically chimney sieve. It's a filter that is going to be installed in factories to filter carbon dioxide gas. Now, this carbon dioxide gas is going to be filtered to reduce oxygen to the atmosphere. Now, obviously the byproduct is going to be CO, carbon monoxide, and we all know that that is very harmful and can be very deadly as well. So the way that we're gonna, avoid this is with the help of hydrogen gas. we can release synthetic fuels by using hydrogen gas. So the carbon monoxide can be converted into ethanol and methane, and this can be used in gasoline, medicine, cosmetics, etc. So our product eliminates waste, helps reduce the production of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which can help control climate change. So this project heavily supports the UN SDG 13 and many more ways to sustainably reduce carbon dioxide.
The chimney is going to be fitted with our equipment, which is designed in separate layers. Each layer contributes in a very crucial way. So the first layer is designed to hold the aluminium nanoparticles, which act as a catalyst to break the carbon dioxide bonds. This actually works hand in hand with a device called an electron mass spectrometer, and which is in this device at the beginning, it shoots beams of high energy electrons. These electrons provide energy to oscillate the electrons of the aluminium atoms, which in turn produce enough energy to break open the covalent bonds. The free oxygen atoms then bond with each other to form a diatomic molecule, which is the oxygen that we are breathing at this very moment. However, there's a problem. What if the carbon dioxide molecule isn't completely broken down? So what's going to happen is that it's going to produce a more toxic gas called carbon monoxide. And that's where the second layer in our device is very, very important. The second layer would have pumps that pump in hydrogen gas. This hydrogen reacts with the carbon monoxide to form an ethanol gas, which no longer makes the whole process pose as a threat to humans. The chimney would also be equipped with a gas detector outside the three layers, so that in case any of the carbon monoxide escapes these layers, then it can start alarming the authorities to evacuate the premises and to keep everyone in a safer area. So this third layer of the mass spectrometer is a distillation process, which changes the ethanol gas into liquid by the name of distillation, which can be collected and sold in pharmaceutical manufacturers, which makes this thing less wasteful. And basically, the waste is going to be used as another product. So we're minimizing the waste as much, which also contributes to it being cost effective. So as for the environmental aspect of our pestle, our product would help reduce carbon emissions, which lowers air pollution and also reduces our carbon footprint. They go hand in hand. This leads to cleaner air and water, thriving ecosystems, which leads to less deaths in not only animals' habitats, but also better health and well-being, as the climate-related health problems are falling due to our invention. The manufacturing of our product, however, may use energy-intensive processing, which require burning fossil fuels. But we would simply use our own product to fix that, since we're using the carbon waste. We can establish carbon neutrality by making our product, as at some point of our whole manufacturing process, it may involve releasing CO2, such as during ensuring a stable future. A carbon monoxide sensor will be placed in the second layer. This sensor can easily detect the level of carbon monoxide and send an alert if it is detected. If no carbon monoxide is detected, then the air is then clean. Alerting the authorities will allow them to take appropriate action and cover the chimney.
This will prevent the carbon monoxide from escaping. And an alert will also be sent to the people to evacuate from the area. A CO carbon monoxide sensor will take a reading for the level of carbon monoxide in the air. If CO2 carbon monoxide is detected, meaning the level is exceeding zero, then an alert will be sent to the appropriate people. A looping system is also set in place and will allow the alert to continuously be sent until the carbon monoxide levels are less than zero, and then the alert will be stopped by authorities. This advanced technology will influence other firms to use energy more sustainably and increase competitiveness, allowing more eco-friendly methods to reduce climate change.
Now, for our idea to launch, there would be a long legislation process. Number one, we would need licensing to trade with other countries and factories as a business. We must comply with the health and safety regulations of each country. And also, we need to make sure that the amount of ethanol that is being produced is a healthy amount and is not dangerous.
Okay, so now we're looking at the financial prospect of our solution. This slide shows the costs of our product. The cost part includes raw materials such as the aluminum nanoparticles, the pumps which produce hydrogen gas, and the gas detectors. This financial document shows how we can gain profit from it and use it in the further expansion of our solution, which is after year 3, you can see a drastic change in the pattern of the revenue. Moreover, we will be taking our raw materials from China due to the low cost, and we'll be manufacturing it in China as well due to the low cost of labor. That being said, we need an extremely huge funding because the solution is really expensive. So we're looking forward to an angel investor or probably and like different facilities which would be like willing to give us funds. This is right here is the break-even analysis, which shows that we need 20,000 units to be sold in order to make profit. We aim to sell our product majorly in the B2B sector, as that's how we will expand our business more forward.
As for our social aspects, our product is going to improve public health by reducing the carbon emissions and air pollutants, which basically just makes the air we breathe much more cleaner. So we're gonna have higher employment opportunities because it's gonna create more job opportunities. Both in the manufacturing and installation of the filters, as well as in the industries that utilize the byproducts like ethanol. Now, the enhanced quality of life is because of the cleaner air, which reduces the greenhouse gas effect. This not only is beneficial for people, but also for Earth overall. So now for the feasibility, it's that the first consideration is whether the scientific principles behind this technology are sound. In this case, the use of nanotechnology and aluminum nanoparticles.
Thank you, ladies. Now, before we proceed with the next round, I have a question for you guys. How was your experience with the competition? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you having a good time? Right? I know it's afternoon, you've had a bit of lunch, you're a little exhausted, right? But what is the motivation level? Like, why are you so excited to participate today? Sorry? Okay, you're hoping for a trophy?
Public speaking.
Public speaking, good. That's an answer I'm really looking forward to. An opportunity, right? Sorry? A better portfolio. Right, what about the teams over there? Okay, now, the rest of you. How many of you think your team is going to be the one that's winning today? The rest of you, are you guys confident? Okay. That you're confident in yourself. So it's good that you are positive about the fact that you think you're going to win. Now, do you guys have any questions with regards to the competition? Anything of that sort with regards to the theme of this year's competition? Yes, please. Why nanotechnology? That's a good one. Mr. Dan, do you want to answer this one? Why did we pick the theme of nanotechnology for this year's competition?
Because nanotechnology is one of the fastest growing areas.
Did you hear that?
How does the follow up?
Yes, please.
Is it because of the
No. We weren't actually thinking about TSMC. It's just, if you look across science, there are so many new papers being published on nanotechnology, and we're starting to see practical application of it. So we thought it's a good topic for this year.
Very fun.
Now, our next team today afternoon is Team Nano Innovator, GEMS Millennium.
Come on.
So good afternoon all. So Nanotech Enhanced Solar Kiosk, that's what we bring to you. So the problem, let's address what's the problem with conventional sources of energy. Clean and affordable energy is the need of the hour, but yet some conventional sources of energy often are unstable in remote areas and they tend to displace communities living over there. So what is the solution? Nanotechnology Enhanced Solar Kiosks, or NES, are a simple and easy way of providing clean and affordable energy, and it aligns with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 7. How it works. The kiosks are built using nanotech solar cells efficient in capturing sunlight. These kiosks can be connected to charging stations where people can charge the appliances. Nanomaterials can store the converted energy efficiently for the later use where there is a cloudy day or night use, for example. And we require basic electrical components such as grounding equipment and fuse chargers, etc. So key components, these are well the same as I explained. And where can we implement this? We have the Rajasthans, Ladakh of India, and in UAE itself, we have the Al Dhafra region and many other remote oasis regions where there is a high potential sunlight, but energy produced is comparatively low. And many other suburban areas across the world or rural areas, for instance, where we can implement this. So, unique selling proposition. Why should you invest in this? What makes it stand out from the conventional source of energy? Since these are built in remote areas where power sources and clean energy is required, a lot of people will be using this for charging their devices and generating electricity if services provide at an affordable rate. The integration of nanotechnology in solar panels boosts energy conversion rates, which means it maximizes from the same amount of sunlight compared to conventional solar panels. The nanotech solar panels are ideal for rural areas because they are much more compact and lightweight. And the materials used can withstand climate changes and capture more sunlight efficiently, which also minimizes the maintenance costs required to maintain them over a period. The reliability and consistent source of power for the community is necessary, and this helps that because they can be even used for future use, helping people in times of power outage, because this can also be transferred to local power grids. This project aligns with United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, is gaining trust and recognition, which markets the brand and gains attraction of people, increasing the sales. This project also can be replicated in multiple locations with minimal cost. By choosing NEST, people also contribute to sustainable development of the country. Access to internet and electricity can open endless opportunities for the youth, such as selling on e-commerce or learning and teaching online, etc., which is what modern technology helps today. As energy needs grow, because in future, if this market, it shares the market at a higher rate, then we can also increase the storage units and panels, ensuring a future-proof energy source. And these are highly sustainable and environmentally friendly compared to the conventional ones. Cost structure. So, compared to the conventional source of energy or conventional solar panels, this costs $56,000 for a 300-watt panel, and 560 of them are required to produce an energy of 200 megawatt hour. And then we require these nanomaterials for energy storage. The kiosk construction costs another 10,000. Then the charging station construction for the people who can come and charge their appliances. Then smart payment systems, security systems, and operational costs. And we can also add in another $1,000 or $2,000 for miscellaneous. And staff salary, because this requires minimum maintenance, so the staff, we can actually rent or hire laborers on monthly basis once or twice. And so the staff salary varies from $5,000 to $10,000. So the total construction cost can reach approximately about $80,000. And monthly expenses can vary from like $6,000 to $11,000. Monetization strategies. How do we make money out of this? So we can charge people for drawing power to homes from electricity generation, and at an affordable rate we can charge around $50 monthly, which is, I think, about 25%, 75% cheaper than conventional sources. Then excess energy generated can be converted to the local power grids, where we can sell it for 50% cheaper than normal electricity generation methods, which when we approximate, we receive around 200 megawatt hour per month energy. So there is a lot of excess energy that can be also sold to the corporations, such as many other institutions or technological corporations. Then sponsorships from NGOs, such as the Environmental and Protected Areas Authority, EPAA in the UAE, Rural Development Foundation in India, and other government authorities for deploying these and helping with their incentives and other tax help can help us. We can also license this technology and commercialize the nanotechnology used to third parties who wants to utilize this in their private space at a 30% profit margin. We can also provide solar-powered water pumping facilities for agricultural and irrigation purpose, which is a major source of income in the rural areas, and we can charge the people based on their water usage. With efficient branding and marketing and constructing them in multiple remote areas, people gain trust, thus enrolling for the cheaper and cleaner alternative source of energy available to them, which trademarks the project, thus giving a break even. With approximate monthly earnings of minimum $20,000 to $25,000, this is even more profitable if initiated in multiple locations simultaneously, making sure that people trust this project, and we also get a higher market share along with higher returns. Making sure only 50% or less of the monthly profit goes into reinvestment, maintenance, and operational costs. The profit margin stands out even for a single model of this. If chosen, if it's chosen area, they can get more sunlight hours than predicted. It can increase the energy received and increase the profit. The profit attained by building one of these in a year, if you see it a financial projection for the future, it's 120,000 to 130,000, which sure does cover up the investment money in less than a year, which creates a market impression for facilitating more construction of these in multiple areas. Feasibility. Feasibility is the key. So efficiency and availability of solar panels in the chosen location, the nanotech solar cells, it's not available because cutting edge technology is not available in much places as of now. Feasibility of energy storage solutions such as batteries for uninterrupted power supplies also matter. Creating a user-friendly and durable kiosk can withstand climate conditions is important when we require minimum maintenance for it. Initial investment for construction and maintenance can be done by individuals in the knowledge of nanotech and construction, making it feasible from an individual point, but it may take the returns or the return on investment may take longer. Companies can utilize this as a business model by constructing these in multiple remote areas, which reduces the return on investment time. We also have to identify potential risks such as vandalism, because we don't hire staff while creating one of this in the rural areas because it's time consuming. And also vandalism, even with security systems, vandalism is a major threat. Making sure that the technology, pricing, and service quality are attractive enough to stand out in the market plays a major role. Financial projections for the future in terms of investments and returns, since cost of the technology used can inflate over time because it's not yet in the market. So when it comes or commercializes into a major share, it can vary. And just in case if this project is done by the wrong hands or probably not working out well as expected, we also have to create an exit strategy, which if it does not meet expectations, this could include selling the kiosk or repurposing it or commercializing the technology. Challenges. Gaining trust and acceptance from the local community by adhering to their social values and cultural acceptance is important. Maintenance in remote areas is time consuming, as I said. Even with security systems, as I mentioned earlier, vandalism from local people is a threat. Permits and licenses required to operate and maintain these will vary upon the location. So it may not be the same for different locations, different countries, or different places may have different laws and regulations for advanced technology usage. And access to raw materials, skilled labor, and required equipment in remote areas may be limited. So the materials that has to be transported from an external market will also have its own taxes and regulations. Fiscal analysis. Government incentives, subsidies, and tax credits for this renewable energy product or renewable energy project can positively affect the business. Regulating policies to support the project financially and legally increase the efficiency can also affect its construction. Economic factors. Cost of conventional energy sources in comparison to the nanotech-based solution can draw attraction to the project, which if the materials are available at a reasonable price and we are available to offer it to people at a reasonable rate. Since nanotechnology is quite new to the market, importing will be one of the... Thank you.
Presenting the next solution for the BCC finale is Team Invicta from the Indian High School.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team Invicta from the Indian High School, and we present to you our Case 3 innovation. So let's set the mood a bit here. Carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas, a silent killer that attaches itself to hemoglobin and reduces its oxygen transferring capacity. You are liable to death. What could we possibly do to help reduce the impact of this carbon monoxide? Watch and see how we use atmospheric carbon monoxide to create sustainable hydrogen fuels as well as activated carbon, as we strive to combat against excessive emissions of carbon monoxide and increase sustainability worldwide, as well as positively impact the SDG 13 of climate change.
Moving on to our process of production, we extract carbon monoxide from the air using zeolites. Zeolites are a chemical compound which can selectively absorb carbon monoxide from the air. We then filter out the carbon monoxide using nanofiber filters, which remove all the impurities present, including sulfur oxide impurities, which are usually present in carbon monoxide. We then use WGS reactors, which are water gas shift reactors, in order to split the carbon monoxide into hydrogen and carbon dioxide using a nanomaterial copper dioxide and water.
Next is the produced carbon dioxide is used in the production of activated carbon from coconut husks, which are sourced as waste from food companies due to their high carbon content. The waste material is carbonized and activated from the previously generated carbon dioxide. The resultant activated carbon is then packaged and sold. Next, on the other hand, the hydrogen gas is then compressed using diaphragm compressors and is converted into hydrogen fuel. We then store it in high-pressure tanks and sell the hydrogen-based green fuel. Next is the source of finance. We have chosen a relatively simple source of finance, that is bank loan. A bank loan is our complete source of finance. We have borrowed $600,000 from the bank and will repay it over a period of 15 months in $40,000 installments.
So these are our finances. So nanofiber air filters, WGS reactor, diaphragm compressor, and activated carbon plant are the fixed assets. Basically, they are the one-time investments of our company. And the total cost for purchasing machinery is approximately $376,000. The total expenses of the first month is approximately $177,000. And the total revenue of our company for the first month is approximately $58,000, and the loss for the first month is $8,990,000. And moving on to the second month, we have only included the variable costs and we have excluded the fixed assets. By the end of the 15th month, we are able to pay off all our loans, and in the 16th month, our total revenue exceeds our expenses. Therefore, we earn a profit of $21,000. So, this is our break-even analysis graph, and we must sell approximately 35,000 units of our product to reach our break-even point, and this point will be reached at our 16th month.
Now let us take a look at the pestle analysis. Under the political analysis, emission trading system. Many nations have established emission trading systems like the European Union ETS to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide. They provide financial support for companies to use greener technology. International collaboration, negotiation, and diplomatic efforts can help facilitate collaboration on carbon monoxide splitting technology. Under the economical analysis, cost of production, the water gas shift process used and the nanomaterial utilized affect the cost of production. Research and development funding. Governmental organizations and private investors could offer research grants and funds for carbon monoxide splitting using nanotechnology. Now, under the social analysis, ethical and moral principles. Ethical and moral principles connected with reducing carbon emissions might affect the public's encouragement for CO splitting. Environmental responsibility and climate change are becoming major concerns in the 21st century. This is exactly what a company's idea is trying to work towards.
Under the technological aspect, we use nanofilters to remove contaminants from carbon monoxide that we gather from air using zeolites, which is a chemical compound. Application of nanomaterials. Our water gas shift reactor incorporates nanomaterials like copper oxide, and this copper oxide is essential for the splitting of carbon monoxide to carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. Legal.
Access to incentives and grants. Because our business supports sustainability and environmental conservation, we can receive grants, subsidies, and other forms of support from governments, which can further offer financial advantages and other kinds of assistance. Permits and licensing. Depending on the exact usage and application of the chemical components used in our business, we would require licenses and functions for production and distribution or import. Environmental, air quality. Carbon monoxide is a very dangerous gas for human beings, especially when inhaled in large quantities. We contribute to improving air quality by filtering CO from the atmosphere and creating eco-friendly products with it. It also lowers the risk of respiratory disorders and other health concerns caused by CO inhalation. Global warming. Carbon monoxide, along with all the atmospheric reactions it takes place in, majorly impact the rate of global warming. Our business contributes to this by filtering carbon monoxide discharged into the environment by creating eco-friendly products using carbon monoxide. This is our competitor analysis. And our potential competitors include Ceramic INC, solid carbon products, Accuventrix, fuel cell energy, etc.
As you can see from a competition analysis, in comparison to our competitors, we inculcate all the use of nanotechnology, eco-friendly production, as well as proper feasibility. We at Invicta realize that the extraction of hydrogen and carbon dioxide from atmospheric carbon monoxide is definitely a very complex process and no doubt requires intense dedication and quite a lot of financing. But we believe that it is a worthy investment, calling for action and paving the way for sustainable, greener present and future.
Thank you, team. Our next team presenting their solution today is team Nano Innovators from the Scholars Private School.
Good afternoon. Our group, Nano Inventors, have come up with a solution for the SAG-30.
If we could please reset the
timer. Good afternoon. Our group, Nano Inventors, have come up with a solution for the UN SDG-13. Climate change is a notable and pressing issue that poses serious threats to our planet. Therefore, we have made use of nanotechnology and its benefits to mitigate the effects of climate change on the world. Our solution is a nanotech space mirrors. Nanomaterials used in this design. The space mirrors need to be capable of functioning at its maximum, and therefore suitable materials must be used. Carbon nanotubes can be used as an outline of the mirror as it's extremely lightweight. This particular material also helps the mirrors to endure vacuum environments and withstand space radiation, providing it with optimum conditions to function in the space. Nanoparticle films. These materials will be used as a reflective factor. Metamaterials, nanoscales metamaterials will be used to control the amount of light and also act as an additional reflective surface, making the space mirrors efficient.
As we know, with the current increase in human activities, there is an increase in ozone depletion, which increases the risk of UV rays posing a risk to our planet by an increased amount being released into our planet. Therefore, space mirrors can absorb the UV rays and reflect it back into the panels, reducing the UV rays entering our planet and therefore reducing the risks. Moreover, it has additional benefits and uses, such as acting as a shield against natural calamities, reversing processes of ice melting.
Ozone hole. As previously mentioned, due to an increase in human activities, such as increased fuel combustion, ozone depletion has been seen in the recent times, with the concentration of ozone levels are dropping. In fact, ozone depletion started from the 1980s and over the recent years just increased. Ozone depletion seems as a larger problem that we seem to understand. As ozone depletion continues throughout the years, social impacts include health impacts such as skin cancer and sunburn. Moreover, it may also lead to loss of plant species and reduce the global food supply.
So the materials that will be improved. So they're made with certain qualities which will help us to have the desired qualities that will repel the rays which are hitting the earth. The carbon capture is to lower the greenhouse gas emissions. So the carbon dioxide will be captured and it will be stored using the nanoparticles so that it does not cause harm to the earth. And pollution control. So by dissolving contaminants in the air and water, it can contribute to environmental cleaning.
Moving on to the question analysis. The political factor. Political factors influence the development and deployment of space mirrors, as governments may regulate space activities and need permission, thereby affecting the feasibility and practicality of nanotech space mirrors. The economic factors, cost and funding. The development and launch of nanotech space mirror, the launch of the nanotech space mirrors can be expensive. Access to funding sources and economic stability can influence the feasibility of these projects.
Now, the social factors, public perception and workforce. Public perception of space mirrors can influence political decision-making and investment, as there will be concerns over the misuse of the technology, which can shape public opinion and availability of a skilled workforce in nanotechnology. It's crucial, which can impact the recruitment of talent in these sectors.
Technological factors. Refinement in manufacturing processes is essential, and techniques like atomic layer deposition and other nanofabrication methods contribute to the production of high-quality mirrors and are also environmentally friendly.
Designing nanotech space mirrors that can withstand harsh space conditions such as extreme temperatures and radiation without releasing harmful substances, making it crucial for environmental sustainability in space.
The legal factors. Adherence to environmental regulations, especially that mainly concerns the use of materials, waste disposal, and the impact of nanotech space mirrors on the environment during manufacturing.
So, in addition to producing power from onboard solar panels and beaming it to the Earth, a network of stable space mirrors orbiting Earth's equator, resembling one of Saturn's rings, could reduce the average air temperature by up to 3 degrees Celsius, which is 5.4 degrees Fahrenheit, after its first implementation. To put that into perspective, the Earth's temperature has risen by an average of 0.14 Fahrenheit, which is 0.08 Celsius per decade since 1880, or about 2 degrees Fahrenheit in total. With this, you can see how after the implementation, the changes would take place in the temperature. Let's talk about the graph. This graph is a predicted outcome of the temperature change with the implementation of our nanotech space mirrors. If we look at the blue line, it's as the key said, current changes in temperature in globally. We can see that there is a very high rise over the years without the use of nanotech space mirrors. While if we look at the red line that shows the temperature change globally with the implementation over the decades of the use of our nanotech mirrors. These nanotech mirrors have not been in active development since the year 1993. This gives us a very high advantage of having less business competitors, which means that our project can be on the top in the next few years. The financial factor of our proposal. The space mirrors would take $4.86 trillion to install in space. This may seem expensive. However, it is important to remember that only the initial costs are expensive and don't need to be replaced often. Hence, over time, throughout the years, the installment of this product would be seen as cost-effective and great amount of UV rays would be reduced, entering our planet, and therefore a reduced greenhouse effect. As a whole, it is profitable. It is profitable and a viable solution for our mankind as we tackle this everlasting, time-ticking bomb of climate change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, team. Our next team providing us with a solution to today's finale is Oryx Inc., the American International.
Hello. I don't really think our idea is a surprise here. We're working with Emirates to create Emirates Nano Engineering. So let's get started with our idea. Our idea consists of more smaller ideas that we've boiled down on how Emirates can improve its services using nanotechnology. Let's start with the first one, using insulation and aircraft coatings to improve and make more efficient aircraft for Emirates' fleet. Let's go to our second one. To efficiently monitor its fleet in real time using nanosensors and nanotechnology. Our third idea, using sustainable aviation fuel to save 8% off its fuel bill. By the way, Emirates spent 36% of its operating costs last year on fuel alone. And lastly, nanomaterial enhanced aircraft interior to continue Emirates' legacy as a top-notch airline.
Through the use of nanotechnology in our air transport, we will be able to ensure the enhanced fuel efficiency, reduce carbon emissions and consumption, while also ensuring economic growth and development. We'll also be discussing SDG 9, where nanoengineering applications in material science, technology, and manufacturing contribute to sustainable industrial processes
as well as SDG 17, since we've created partnership with industry leaders such as Airbus and Safran.
I'll be introducing the team members. We have Omar Al-Zoui, Chief Economic Officer, Sana Al-Tamimi, Chief Technological Officer, Mariam Ahmed, Chief Legal Officer, Malik Azab, Chief Sustainability Officer, and me, Jana Khalid, Chief Social and Political Officer.
Now, for Emirates, it's an industry leader based in DXB. It provides services to 6 different continents, flights to 158 different locations in 85 countries. They're also the largest operator of the Airbus A380 and Boeing 777 with 269 aircraft under their operations and 249 others on order. Nanotech aircraft coatings and insulations. For the nano-composite coating and paint, more lightweight will equal to less fuel burn, resistance to UV lights, moisture and corrosion, increasing aerodynamic efficiency, which will result in carbon reduction. Nanotech aircraft coating and insulation will leverage nanoparticles in these coatings to give protection against environmental factors. This would improve the durability and endurance of aircraft exteriors. It will also provide temperature regulations.
Nanosensors for real-time aircraft efficiency and monitoring. Easy monitoring. Our idea allows the network control center to safely manage monitoring whenever and wherever. Ultra-fast response time. These nanosensors have an ultra-fast response time of 0.01 milliseconds, enabling for real-time monitoring and instantaneous optimization of aircraft systems. Extreme conditions. Nanosensors are built to survive extreme conditions such as high altitudes and change in temperatures and harsh weather, and have an estimated lifespan of 10 years, making them trustworthy for long-term use.
Nanomaterials can be used as catalysts for synthesizing SAM, converting biomass algae or waste materials into high-quality aviation fuels. This ensures longer flight ranges without increasing fuel weights. And a partnership with ENOC, which is Emirates' largest fuel supplier, will begin in-house production of nanofuel, aiming to improve sustainable aviation fuel production, storage, and efficiency.
Nanomaterial enhanced aircraft interiors, insulation and acoustics. Nanomaterials will help reduce noise levels inside aircraft cabins. They can also increase thermal insulation, which not only saves energy, but also provides a pleasant experience. Antimicrobial nanocoatings. Some key areas are antimicrobial nanocoatings, which can be applied to high-touch surfaces. Window and light. Nanomaterials can be used to develop lighting solutions. Smart windows are an example of this. A partnership with EK and Safran, the current supplies of EK seats on the A380 will leverage nanomaterials such as graphene on the 4 classes of service Emirates offers, offering a lightweight and better customer experience.
Now for the pestle analysis. Political pros. Our idea is politically favorable for enhancing passengers' experience and attracting public approval, aligned with the political agendas for reducing carbon emissions and sustainable energy sources. Cons. Political challenges in educating and gaining public trust for these newer fuel sources, and political bureaucracy may inhibit how fast things are rolled out.
For the economic pestle analysis, we have cost efficiency, which we'll also cover a little bit later. Using these, we were able to make things a bit cheaper for Emirates, and scale is everything, especially with a massive airline like Emirates. But we'll also gain a competitive advantage. Many consumers nowadays look for flights that are more eco-friendly and have lower CO2 emissions. This will also ensure Emirates is being able to have a stronger market diversification against its many competitors in the Gulf region. Some of the cons would be the adoption. Adoption is pretty expensive, which we'll also cover later when we talk about the finances. And economic fluctuations and shortages in nanotechnology and chips may inhibit how fast we're able to roll these out.
Social pros. Coating contributes to reducing maintenance needs and extending aircraft lifespan, aligning with environmental conservational goals, and promotes the development of specialist employment in the field of sensor technology.
Cons, market adoption may be impacted by the challenges with public awareness and acceptance.
Interior nanocoatings have the ability to self-clean, avoiding the buildup of dirt. While nanocoatings reduce maintenance requirements, repairing will be difficult if damage were to occur.
Nanomaterials and coatings can improve fuel efficiency by reducing aerodynamic drag, which reduces carbon emissions and environmental impact. They enable lighter aircraft structures, which emits fewer pollutants. However, disposing of nanotech elements may pose challenges such as the need for unique waste management.
Nanocoatings can increase energy efficiency as well as meeting the UAE's energy standards. Getting the green light may be a little challenging. Regulatory challenges navigating the UAE's intricate regulatory landscape, including permits, approvals, environmental regulation, etc., can be challenging. But since it's a government-owned company, these challenges can be waived. Property complexity, maintaining patents and licensing agreement can lead to legal issues that require legal attention.
For financial analysis, for the aircraft coatings installation, we believe that it will be able to last 8 years compared to the standard 6 years that the aircraft coatings currently last. We can believe it will have a 6% reduction on internal air conditioning costs on the 787 fleet and a 4% on the A380 fleet, which would cause a $64 million saving with reduced costs on AC, de-icing, and heating. It would cost around $463,000. This is data from Airbus and Boeing, and we've averaged it out. And it would cost $125 to roll it out on all of the 269 aircrafts that Emirates have. This would cause break even around 2 years. For real-time aircraft efficiency monitoring, we would have around 2% less needed staff at the Emirates Network Center. We'd have assistance in monitoring in super far away destinations. Cities like Mexico City, Oakland, or really far away cities. We'd have less staff in operating bases like different airports across the world, especially some of its major hubs that Dubai Emirates flies to. It would have a $3 million reduction in operating costs for maintenance annually. We would also have sustainable aviation fuel. It costs around 94 million. This is also some data from Enoch, and an 8% reduction. Instead of it costing 229 USD per 100 UJL, which is the current prices at Dubai Airport, it would cost slightly less, around 200 another percent. But we're talking about Emirates. Emirates is a huge airline. The scale of economies are going to be massive in this. For aircraft interiors, the average seat would last around 14 years. Emirates is currently rumored to actually be working on some new seats. So we're actually expecting to have some nanotechnology designs in them. It'll cost around $2,500 to refit a seat per seat, and around $1,500,000 for the A380. For the Emirates finances, the Emirates is a very successful group with 10 billion AED for profit this year. Here are some of the data on Emirates' finances gathered from their statements. For a financial summary, we can estimate 64 million savings, 3 million on operating basis, and 8% reduction in fuel costs, estimating current fuel prices. For a quick summary, through climate action and various initiatives, we can solve SDG climate action. We can also solve partnership for goals and industry innovation infrastructure. So let's fly sustainable and fly better.
Thank you, team.
Yeah.
Our next team providing us with their solution is team Tropical Peppermint from GEMS Wellington Academy, Dubai, Silicon Wales. Please give them a big round of applause.
They say that the flap of a butterfly's wings, one side of the world, can cause a hurricane in another. They call this the butterfly effect. In that same way, a small drone can leave an impact so grand that it changes the world and the life for all those who live in it. So let's introduce you to our friend, the nano drone. To begin with, we'll like to set the scene. In 2015, the Paris Agreement was signed. This was an agreement that hoped to keep temperature rising below above 2% 2 degrees in a century. hoping to possibly keep this to 1.5 degrees even, if possible. However, at the current rate of CO2 emissions, temperatures are forecasted to rise as much as 4.4 degrees Celsius, meaning a 7.6% drop in annual emissions is required to actually reach that number. Nano drones in the short term hope to allow households to contribute to reducing this carbon footprint, and in the long term also developing communities better to help them mitigate these greenhouse gas emissions in the long term as well. Meanwhile, on the other hand, UN SDG 7.2 hopes to increase renewable energy in the global energy mix. How nanodrone will hope to fix this is by putting carbon nanotube batteries to facilitate long-term research in this field.
The function of the nanodrone includes an analysis of its environment to determine where to deploy the most suitable seedlings for agricultural and afforestation purposes. In taiga biomes, for example, seedlings and plants that would suffice in more wintry conditions would then be deployed. The use of nanotechnology within nanodrone serves two primary functions. The first one being the analysis of its environment, where the use of quantum dots and nanoparticle filters allow the drone to analyze the concentration of carbon dioxide within the atmosphere. As well as that, the second function of the nanodrone includes the efficient use of energy, as it uses carbon nanotubes for the anode instead of the traditional graphite anode of lithium-ion batteries, and graphene wires instead of traditional copper wires, which are double as effective in terms of electrical conductivity. In order to survive the harsher environments that the nanodrone may be faced with, the coating of the nanodrone is graphene oxide, and it is made out of carbon fiber. For the nanodrone, in order for it to be technically feasible, it must be very compact. So the propellers are able to fold inwards into a small, easy to transport in bulk model. And additionally, it has a solar panel on its roof, which allows it to regain some of the energy used while it is in flight, as well as the dual purpose propellers, which can be laid on its side during the nighttime for wind energy generation. The nanodrones are connected to an app, which centralizes all their information, as well as showcasing the flight paths of all of these nanodrones, making sure they do not collide with each other, and allowing them to explore regions where they have not been before, thereby expanding its agricultural and forestation reaches.
Now, seeing as this is a large-scale project, it's only fitting that we have a numerous number of collaborators to help us and make this dream possible. First of all, we have Bayer and Syngenta, two of the largest competitors in the agriculture industry. They make up 50% of the pesticide market and 35% of the seed market. Together, they'll benefit from game theory, states that total cooperation is better than competition. And that allows them to oligopolize the market and benefit together. Hopefully, this means that they'll be able to work with us. And we also hope that mergers are unlikely due to geographical restrictions and because they're both already well established as companies. We also want to work with Curtin, an up-and-coming drone company, looking to reach international market by differentiating and specializing their products. With a 3% market share, we hope to grow and benefit with Curtin using economies of scale and sharing in our R&D costs. Finally, we have Panasonic, a battery company, with which we want to collaborate alongside with Curtin. So Panasonic has prior collaborations with other environmentally conscious projects, such as those of Tesla and their batteries. And with their Netherlands HQ and Paris France HQ, we have access to their reduced advanced transfer facilities for reduced costs. And we can look to them to help us in research for nanotech and batteries.
The nanodrone utilizes many new technologies around the world, one of them being quantum dots, which is a pretty recent discovery, just winning the Nobel Prize in 2023 this year. Our financial plan is an estimation, an average of the most prominent evaluation methods in the EU, excluding its outliers. And this includes the research and development of nanotechnology, totaling to around 21 million euros. And
As for its material prices for the construction of the drones, it averages around to be 215.16 euros in cost per drone.
So other ways that we can hopefully save money. So first of all, it should be established that with how high-end drones are priced upwards of $3,000 for simply recreational purposes, it is more than feasible that we can produce this on a large scale, hoping to keep these prices. Now, drone would have a licensed patent along with its components. Of course, profit is the name of the game. So new and top markets can be subject to skimming and, of course, monopolizing this new industry. With good government relations from our initiatives, we can hope to source our materials from reduced costs and also take advantage of reduced transfer fees. Furthermore, these economies of scale can also be, once again, prioritized, of course, to help reduce costs. With materials and R&D for drones, solar panels, and quantum dots already being developed by their respective companies, we'll also hope to reduce costs. Looking specifically at our units, we hope to sell commercial units for 2,000 euros and government units for 5,000, including servers and centralized remote access. With an average of 4.5%, even in the worst case, we make 90 to 204 euros in royalties, and we have about 1,800 euros from the commercial product itself. With our break-even diagram, we see that even in the worst case scenario, we need approximately 1,200 units break-even. So just looking at our numbers real quick, we see that our total revenue is estimated to be around $220 million euros. Cost of goods around 23.67 million. We also accounted for travel, and we also include contingencies of about 20% extra travel costs. However, we're unable to predict the exact locations where our product may be demanded the most. Our gross profits will be around $196 million, and after a French tax, which is 26.5%, that's around 123.5 million. So hopefully those numbers work for us. Moving on to our pastel, we want to look at first the political impacts. Of course, better cooperation with all these companies means that we also want to have cooperation improved between their involved countries, Switzerland, Germany, Japan, etc., allowing for better crisis management. A consideration that's important to note is that drones may, the technology used in these drones may be used in possibly inappropriate contexts, perhaps spyware or war, but that's of course a possibility that could occur in many cases. Trade laws between Switzerland and the EU may worsen, making cooperation between Syngenta and Bayer possibly strained, and potentially impossible at a certain point. Furthermore, Euro-Japanese trade tariffs may damage Panasonic's cooperation. Moving on to economic, we hope to have more jobs for software developers in Europe, increasing tertiary sector employment in the regions, and hopefully with all of this, decreasing unemployment, increasing GDP per capita, and improving the standard of living, so on and so forth. With all of these, there may be some, of course, fallacies, for example, statements on currencies.
Focusing on to the social impact of nanodrone, it would be helping out by lowering the amount of CO2 in the environment due to the fact that we plant trees in deforested areas, the lower amounts of CO2 present would limit the amount of diseases contracted by individuals, therefore saving more lives. Now, focusing on the environmental factors of this, well, a system has been put into our nanodrone ability for allowing it to recall during natural disasters so that they can be salvaged and continue to be used and prolonging its life. Next, it comes to its ability of being able to recharge itself during the day through solar energy, and during the night, it would be able to generate energy from wind turbines that it'll be connected to by dogs.
Some of the technological implications may include increased research within nanotechnology, as well as increased investment into
Thank you, Team Tropical Peppermint. Our next team presenting is Atomic Optics, Albia for High School.
Imagine a world. In this world, your life is not run by the dangerous, ineffective, unsustainable, and finite resources of the past, but by the sustainable, powerful, and energy efficient resources of the future. And that is what our company, NanoNext, promises to herald. Using the innovation of tomorrow, nanotechnology. NanoNext is a contemporary business dealing in the simplistic idea for sustainable nanotechnology-based batteries for a greener future. These batteries, in contrast to traditional ones, incorporate nanotechnology to produce energy that is both affordable and renewable in nature. These batteries and capacitors are not only clean, but also renewable. The solid-state batteries and capacitors are an imperative part of EVs. And when we support these companies, we align ourselves with SDG 7 to improve energy efficiency in the transport sector. We are dedicated to minimizing our environmental effects by lowering our reliance on rare minerals, decreasing energy-intensive production, and prolonging the life of our products. Our eco-friendly materials and compact designs guarantee a smaller environmental impact and a healthier planet. So, what nanosubstances are used in our business?
First off, I'd like to start off with nanostructured graphene. It is perfect for energy storage devices like lithium-ion batteries and supercapacitors. It performs better, charges relatively quickly, and has higher energy density due to its larger surface area. Second, silicon nanowires. Silicon nanowires enhance lithium storage capacities in lithium-ion battery anodes, extending runtime in electrical products and electrical cars. Third, carbon nanotubes. Battery and supercapacitors' electrical conductivity is improved by carbon nanotubes, which have exceptional mechanical and thermal capabilities, which also lower wear and tear, increase efficiency, charging and discharge rates, and mechanical stability.
Fourth, nanoporous materials. Metal organic frameworks, also known as MOFs, composed of nanoscale holes or cavities, are a common structural feature of nanoporous materials. Because nanoporous materials have a large porosity, there is more surface area accessible for electrochemical processes, which raises the energy density and speeds up charge and discharge times.
So, what's our target market? We target the electrical vehicle industry, consumer electronics, renewable energy storage, and ecologists and environmentally conscious consumers and government organizations. Now for the competitive market analysis. As NanoNext is a new entrant to this industry, it operates alongside the giants and leaders of the energy storage and specialists of specific nanomaterial powered batteries. Evidently, though, they will have their the strengths, including they may be specialized and the rules and regulations have an impact on the market. Therefore, other businesses may be more competitive in this space.
And that will be our challenges, but we don't back down. So here are our strengths. In response to the growing demand for more affordable and renewable energy storage devices, our company, integrating the use of nanotechnology, we can attract customers who are environmentally conscious. Our products also have the ability to aid in various industrial applications, including solid-state batteries, nanocapacitors, nanotech-based batteries, and more.
Now to the market feasibility of our business. Firstly, the production cost for NanoNext energy. The manufacture of the nanomaterial-based energy storage devices like nanotech-based batteries and supercapacitors. Second, quality control and assurance.
Third, scale efficiency. And fourth, investing in eco-friendly materials and sustainable manufacturing practices may initially result in higher production costs due to higher upfront costs to maintain our unique selling point. Additional research costs and product development costs for our wonderful business will also be included.
Next, we come to scalability. We should have a steady and cost-effective raw material supply chain in order to scale up production. We can also extend distribution channels
and marketing initiatives in our company.
Now to the pricing strategies. Due to a varied consumer base, NanoNext needs a progressive pricing system, which includes a tiered pricing strategy. Second, we can use competitive pricing because emphasizing our product's environmental benefits and wide scope product line can help us to gain more consumer and customer attention.
Just like any other business, we implement cost-saving techniques that help us stay on top, such as investing in effective quality control, monitoring the market demand, not building up manufacturing infrastructure too quickly, evaluating and optimizing manufacturing processes on a regular basis, and using just-in-time inventory control through which storage costs can be saved.
So, why should you invest? What are our unique selling points? Firstly, is our technological differentiation. The novel applications of nanomaterials mentioned before have improved performance and are thus more durable in the long run, again, making us unique. And the environmental impact in a market where environmental consciousness is rising, NanoNext's strong focus on reducing environmental consequences through material efficiency, less reliance on rare materials, and less energy-intensive production processes can make our company stand out. Furthermore, companies such as the ones presented today require power for their green journeys, and we are willing to power them.
Now to the question analysis of our business. Firstly, under political factors, we must abide by a number of safety and environmental laws and rules, since the energy storage sector is heavily regulated. Second, we can benefit from funding opportunities from NGOs and governmental institutions. And under economic factors, we have economic stability. The general state of the economy in the areas that NanoNext energy serves can influence consumer spending on sustainable and environmentally friendly energy alternatives.
Third, moving on to social factors. Growing environmental consciousness and the demand for sustainable products can make a market that is favorable to our company. As customers grow increasingly aware of the influence of the environment, customers who care about the environment and sustainability will be drawn to our products. Fourth, technological factors. The energy storage sector is heavily reliant on technology. To be competitive, we will need rapid technological advancements, which we believe we can do. We aim to secure robust pattern protection for our novel nanomaterials in order to protect our technology from rivals.
Now we come to legal factors. Regulatory compliance, intellectual property protection. Next, environmental factors, environmental impact. The products and manufacturing procedures of NanoNext Energy are in line with their dedication to environmental sustainability. To comply with environmental standards, we will minimize our carbon footprint and reduce waste. Next, resource conservation. Rare materials like cobalt, which are necessary for conventional batteries, may become less common thanks to nanotechnology and reducing the influence on the environment and conserving resources.
We predict that government regulations, economic stability, technological advancements, environmental regulations, and intellectual property protection that is mentioned before will challenge us and impact us the most.
Now for the financial part. So the table on top behind me shows the values taken to make the break-even analysis start. Firstly, the fixed costs are projected to increase due to increase of production from year 2 to 3 by 10,000 units. At the initial stage, we estimate our variable cost per unit to be 40. These costs are consisted of cost of goods sold mainly, raw materials, carriage inwards, and holding stock of inventory. The revenue column shows us that for the first year, selling price is 60 per unit, then in year 2 and 3, revenue is increased to 62.5, then again is increased to 63 per unit. We will achieve break-even in year 2 based on our estimates for the market demand for the product, backed by our market research. We can raise investment from private investors and government grants and our savings.
So join us in our quest for a greener future. NanoNext,
nanotechnology,
macro impact.
Thank you, team. Our next team for today is Team Feminine Fusion from the Millennium Institute.
How many of you have just woken up in the morning and absolutely enjoyed the smell of carbon particles and that hazy atmosphere? Anyone? Yeah, I thought so. We, the team of EcoGenie, are here today to make environmental pollution a thing of the past, so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
EcoGenie aims to address the sustainable goal of climate action. What's the purpose of this SDG? The goal aims to combat the impacts of climate change. Some of the main targets of this SDG is to strengthen resilience, adapt to climatic disasters, etc. The United Nations aim to achieve this goal by the year 2030. Our solution not only aims to address climate action, but also many other goals such as life on land, good health and well-being, responsible consumption and production. We've taken a survey from the people of Delhi regarding environmental pollution and how it affects them. As we can see, majority of the people think that addressing pollution is a very critical topic and has to be made well known to everyone.
51% of our major air pollution in India occurs due to emissions from factories. The aim of our solution is to target the issue of industrial pollution and flue gas emissions. We can do this by neutralizing the gases emitted, which will reduce the harmful effect of the gases which would have on the environment. For our solution, we have 4 nanofilters. Each filter will neutralize one major harmful gas present in the flue gas emissions. The four major harmful gases we are targeting are carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and mercury. The 4 materials we are using to make our filters are ZSM5, X-zeolite, chalcozite, and activated carbon. The filters contain nanopores which neutralize the gas, so a major percent of the air released from the 4 filters will be clean. We have chosen Delhi, the capital of India, as our target market for our startup because it's the 4th most polluted city in the world. It is a cheap manufacturing location, hence it will positively contribute to the economy.
Now, following is the financial plan for our product. So our major expenses include equipment, raw material, and rent and salary for various workers. Now, we have further divided this into 3 different types of costs, such as startup costs, fixed costs, and variable costs. Now, our total expenses amount to 56,84,180. Now, with lakhs and lakhs of expenditure, how do we plan on recovering the costs and earn profits? Well, with over 16,000 industries in Delhi, we start by selling 250 units for the first 3 months and gradually increase to 375 units by the end of the year. This results in our total income amounting to 1,27 lakhs just for the first year. But what about our real profits? According to our income statement, our gross profit amounts to around 1,09 lakh and net profit is around 70 lakhs. However, due to the tax slab of India, 30% of tax is applicable for our profits, resulting in our total actual profits to be 48,78,344.
After analyzing our return on investments, we are expecting a return of 295% against our operations. For our break-even point, we will break even in just 8 months by around mid-July. Isn't that great? We would break even after the sales of only 1,682 units.
We have performed a pestle analysis to investigate the different factors that are affecting our business unit. Let's have a look at the political side. We have meticulously looked into the regulations that are imposed by the Government of India, especially Delhi, such as the Minimum Wages Act of 2023. And we will make sure that we comply with these rules in our business unit. One major problem that we identified was the problem of rampant corruption. And we have also aimed to resolve that issue by utilizing the anti-corruption laws and scheme that the Government of India itself provides. Let's move on to the economic aspect. We have compared the cost of equipment and production from different suppliers to provide the best combination of quality and cost. We have ensured that our units are sold at the best possible price so that factories at all levels and all scales have access to our solution. This will also contribute to increasing demand for our product. We have used extrusion as a major process of molding of our filter, as it's a cheap alternative to other metal processes such as CNC. We have also set up a production, as previously mentioned, in Delhi, and so this will reduce our cost of production as well as minimize the cost and maximize the impact. Now for the social aspect. Our technology improves the quality of health and reduces the overall respiratory diseases in our target location. Instead of viewing industries and environment and annihilators, our solution will ensure that people are able to establish a positive relationship with industries, and they view industries as someone who will produce and also is mindful of their impact on the environment and the people. As for the results of the survey that we saw previously, we can also see that people are genuinely interested in this issue, and they are also deeply and personally affected by it, which is why we need to resolve it as soon as possible.
Now I will be leading you on to the technological element of festival. Our technology will filter the major toxic gases. As a result, produce healthier, safer, and cleaner air. We have chosen zeolite over traditional metallic filters as it is less prone to corrosion. With the effect of the 4 filters, we can optimize pollutant removal, minimize energy consumption, and ensure that all our filter materials are become of efficient use. Next in line, we have the environmental aspect. The primary substance, zeolite, is a natural, biodegradable, renewable resource and therefore does not contribute to the environmental degradation. However, we will be attacking only the major gases. So the minor gases will still remain in the purified air, and therefore we do not guarantee a 100% purification system. Nonetheless, purified air emitted are significantly cleaner than the polluted air we usually breathe. Moving on to the legal formalities, we'll be submitting the following documents to the respective legal authorities, such as the incorporation certificate, trade license, trademark registration, occupation license. Along with that, we will be registering ourselves under the MSME Ministry and Shops and Establishment Act. As our solution benefits the public, we can also receive grants from the Indian government under its startup business. Are we willing to continue down the path of environmental destruction, or is it time for a radical shift towards a more sustainable future for factories? Choose wisely. Choose eco-greening. Thank you.
Thank you, Team Feminine Fusion. Our next team for today is Quick Team from Dubai College.
Did you know that chemical fertilizers produce 2.6 gigatons of carbon per year? This is more than the total carbon being produced each year by global aviation and shipping combined. These greenhouse gases are produced when the microbes in the soil break down the nitrogen-based fertilizers and during ammonia synthesis, which is when ammonia binds to the airborne nitrogen for the fertilizers. This release results in 2.37 gigatons of nitrous oxide being released per year. This is around 80% of the nitrous oxide being released around the globe, in addition to the 2.6 gigatons of carbon. However, chemical fertilizers do not only affect the climate, but also aquatic ecosystems. For instance, surface runoff. This is when excess nitrogen and phosphorus are washed into lakes and ponds. This results in the overgrowth of algae, which can block out the sun and consume oxygen from other marine animals. For one of the best examples is Lake Erie in North America of an algal bloom. This is all thanks to the excessive use of chemical fertilizers. For decades, the human race has been using chemically produced fertilizers, but even throughout all these years, there's not been one solid solution so far to combat these negatives.
This is what makes our nanophosphate fertilizer distinct in impacting SDG 13. Our unique selling point is that our fertilizer will provide farmers more yield and more profits, therefore incentivizing them to use our product over traditional fertilizers, whilst mitigating the impacts that traditional fertilizers can have on climate change. Our fertilizer consists of nano monopotassium phosphate and with a silica coat on top. Phosphate is essential for plant functions like respiration and photosynthesis, therefore improving plant growth. Potassium can increase flowering speed and fruit formation, whilst silica is important as using it instead of carbon reduces our carbon emissions, while also improving plant defenses and increasing plant resistance against pathogens. A key aspect of our product is efficient delivery. Small nanonutrients can penetrate tissues and reach targeted cells, achieving precise application and more plant growth. This also leads to reduced wastage. Due to the efficiency of our product, less of it is needed, leading to reduced costs for farmers and even more profits. This also leads to minimized effects of reaching runoff mentioned earlier. As we all know, greenhouse gases are a major player in climate change, as they lead to the greenhouse effect and global warming. Our product reduces greenhouse gas emissions from fertilizers by 50%. This is due to the improved precision and accuracy from our product, leading to less fossil fuels needing to be burnt in production. Additionally, we can use our product with precision agriculture. The signs are improving yields, reducing waste through using technology and analysis tools. This further reduces our waste and emissions, helping us tackle SDG 13 more effectively.
In India, farmers have begun to incorporate nanotechnology into their farming. Based on a similar market, nanourea, I have researched the financial data on the total costs for farmers in very large farms. In total, the costs for both the nano-fertilization and the tanks to spray them would add up to $14,506 compared to $95,000 for the traditional fertilizers, according to the Down to Earth organization. Along with the decreased costs, there is also an increase in crop yield. In one study, it found that the wheat yield increased by 16.7% for traditional fertilizers, whilst using nanophosphate fertilizers, this was 24.7%. This means that if we use the example of the US that produces 30 bushels per acres of wheat, which accounts to $201, using traditional fertilizers, this would turn to $235. Whilst with our product, this would be $250, a $15 increase per acre.
I've also done research on the similar market nano-urea and found that it costs 10% less to produce it than traditional urea. This means that the marginal cost of producing urea is $400 to $500 per ton. So it would cost $360 to $450 per ton for our product. So on average, there's 205 pounds of fertilizer used per acre, and on average farms are 445 acres. So it would cost $41,000 for us to produce it per average farm. So we aim to sell it at $500 per ton in the US, including storing costs. So per farm, average farm, we earn 4,000 profits. So after selling it in 12 average farms, we will break even, making it feasible.
Special analysis. Politically speaking, governments will need a regulatory framework to create clear guidelines and standards for nanotechnology safely used. This could take some time, given that nanotechnology is currently evolving and new rules and regulations need to be created. However, since we're contributing to a virtuous cause, government subsidies can be accessed by us, which can help us reduce our cost of production and average costs. This can help us achieve economies of scale by bulk buying our raw material.
Economically, the production of nanofertilizers will be expensive at first due to initial costs such as machinery. Also, since this product is relatively new, there would need to be tests or alike to prove the effectiveness of the fertilizer. However, as Kartik said, the government can fund research and development of nanofertilization and subsidize our product. This can make it more economically viable, especially since pollution and climate change is a central issue globally.
Socially speaking, farmers will need to be educated on how to use our product and what benefits come off from our product. However, it will take time for them to adopt this new technology, given that they've been using urea and potassium chloride fertilizers for the past 60 years. We can help them change by promoting our product with positive statistics, highlighting the benefits of our product. We can also use government help to advertise our product and our ideas, and also run ad campaigns on social media, given that social media is a huge part of marketing these days.
Technologically, the distribution method is an important factor that affects the efficacy of the fertilizer. The most effective way should be investigated during the research and development phase, though currently it appears drone spraying is the most effective method. Another technological consideration is integrating sensors. It can be utilized to respond to soil and plant conditions by releasing phosphorus depending on real-time plant requirements. The size of nanoparticles would also be a factor. The smaller the nanoparticle, the greater the surface area, hence greater reactivity due to a higher surface area to volume ratio. This can increase nutrient uptake by plants.
While nanoparticles are generally a significantly better method of fertilization than conventional chemical fertilizers in terms of environmental impact, it is also possible they have other effects. Due to the nature of nanoparticles as a newer technology, there is a lack of information regarding the long-term impacts it can have on the ecosystem. A potential reason for uncertainty here is that it is possible for nanoparticles to enter the food chain and affect non-target organisms, which can have cascading effects on the wider ecosystem. However, this has not been backed by solid research, and through proper use and application can be easily avoided. When looking at the manufacturing process of nanoparticles, it requires large amounts of water, raw materials, and high energy consumption. This can also have a toll on the environment, but can be negated through sustainable sourcing and the use of renewable energies. Overall, our product is still considered more eco-friendly for the various reasons we have spoken about, and as time progresses, the environmental impact of the production process will also be minimized further. Moving on, the use of nanofertilizers is subject to firm legal factors aimed at ensuring their safe and responsible application. Now, these will vary from country to country. However, we will try to provide a general overview. First and foremost, regulatory approval from agriculture and environmental agencies is required, involving assessments of safety, efficacy, and environmental impact. Furthermore, nanofertilizers must comply with specific labeling and certification standards detailing their composition and their application guidelines. Environmental impact assessments will also be conducted to evaluate the potential effects on soil, water, and the wider ecosystem. Strict occupational health and safety regulations. Thank you.
Team. Now it is time for our last and final presentation for today afternoon. We have team on top from Al Alpha High School.
Imagine being late to work, in a rush, be able to check your phone, 0%. Well, what if in that case you could make that charge? Well, our product aims to provide clean and renewable energy while on the go. The consumption of energy is essential in day-to-day life, with electric consumption almost tripling from 1988 to 2022. Now, the dependence on non-renewable sources is still damaging the earth, damaging it. And Static aims to use nanotechnology in terms of nanofiber to create piezoelectric energy.
Okay, so these shoes can be used to produce in many areas, whether it be for hikers or mountaineers who do not have charging ports available, or even the promotion of better health due to not only the production of energy, but a change in social stance. So let's dive into it.
Moving on to the technical analysis, which shows the feasibility of a solution. The soles of the shoes are embedded with nanotechnology, which captures mechanical energy from the amount of steps taken using a triboelectric process, which is a well-researched technology that has already been tested for its practical use, as cited in the PPT. How this works is that when the different surfaces of the ground and the sole come into contact and separate, it induces an electrical charge. While on the other hand, the insole of the shoe is layered with piezoelectrical technology, which is made up of nanofibers. When pressure is applied to the insole by the foot and deformation occurs, a charge is generated, which is then conducted to a metal mesh and stored in the battery. The total capacity of this power bank is 6,000 milliamp hours. This capacity is achieved in such a small footprint due to the using of nano high energy packing technology. The power bank is also securely attached to the shoe using a latch. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are the numbers? How much energy does it produce? Well, the shoe generates about 5 joules of energy per step, or 4 watt-hours in 1 kilometer, which is enough to charge about a quarter of the battery. These values have been carefully calculated with extensive research. Additionally, an interactable interface with perfect customer information and application to track the progress of the charging will be
delivered. Moving on to our method analysis. Now, we understand that our products need to be imported with the raw materials, nanotechnology, where the UAE has favorable political cohesion with multiple countries, with free trade agreements already being in order with Gulf countries, the FATF. Now, in the future and in the long run, EU countries will also be part of UAE's free trade agreement. How great, lesser cost for us. Now, arguably the most important factor is UAE wants to aim to maintain a sustainable image in the EcoSoc committee. Well, our product will sustain this image in the committee. Now, moving on to economical. We know that we are now in an upwards curve in our business cycle following a downward slump from COVID-19. The injections from the UAE's economy, in terms of monetary policies, has given us a boost in terms of business costs. Moreover, your question is, where's all this funding coming from? Well, the UAE has pledged to invest about $54 billion in order to move to a more clean and more renewable energy source. This aims to triple the contribution of renewable energy by 2030. And this can be a catalyst to the research and development of our product. Now, social factors. When we look at social factors, it's important to understand the social construct of UAE itself. As we know, the banning of plastic bags has given the increase of demand to the direct substitute to jute bags. Now, we aim for something similar to happen with 96% of residents in the UAE actually wanting to be environmentally friendly, but cannot find a way. Well, this is the gap in the market filled. Technical factors. As we know, the UAE suffers from climate action, global warming, so does the rest of the world. Well, this will help our international parties and the UAE itself. Also, 8.5 billion tons of CO2 is produced just by charging a phone. Why do we need that when we can have something like this, which is renewable? Last but not least are legal factors. Legal factors in the economy is that there are laws in the UAE which say the carbon utilization. So how much you spend producing non-renewable energy, that has to be balanced with something renewable. Well, this is perfect for our product. Non-renewable energy is not even to question, and this will be perfect to enter the market. Moving on to the financial.
All right, now let's look at the numbers which actually back up our business plan. So they initially set up the business made up of the R&D to check whether the technology is viable, as well as the setup of the production process and test in the market. All of this comes around to 20 million dirhams, which will be funded by investors made up of angel investors and venture capitalists, as well as government subsidies and grants. Now the question is, why would these organizations fund our program? Well, we plan to sell our equity and use an effective business plan to convince investors to invest, as well as mentioned before, the UAE plans to invest $54 billion in the energy sector by the year 2030 to produce clean and sustainable energy. After the initial setup of the business, the cost of the business become 110 dirhams per unit of variable cost and 3 million annual cost of fixed cost. Further breakdowns of these costs will be shown later, as well as we'd like to make a note that these figures are carefully drafted, but they are still estimates as the technology is not available yet. Now we reach the fun part of the financial analysis, which is the revenue, profits, and gross margins. We plan to sell the product at a selling price of 220 AED per unit. That's automatically 100% markup and 50% gross margin. Also keep in mind, this price is set using competitive pricing, where our competitors with similar high quality such as ours sell at a similar price level. Crunching all the numbers down, we can see a break-even chart where the break-even output is 27,300 units. The good news is that using estimates from other competitors in their first year of trading, we can estimate 40,000 units sold, ultimately giving us a profit of 1.4 million dirhams in the first fiscal year. As we said, this is a breakdown of all the variable and fixed costs of the business. To basically sum it up, we plan to have a positive cash balance of $1 million dirhams at the end of the year. That is a cash to profit ratio of 72%, which, to be honest, we as investors and owners love to hear. Now moving on to the contingency part of the financial analysis. In case of changes in external economic conditions and change in markets, we plan, all right, before that, as you said before, back to the contingency plans. Due to change in external economic conditions as well as change in market trends, we plan to establish positive relationships with our suppliers so no harm is in quality and cost, as well as improving other applications such as industrial applications and winterwear, which can generate thermal energy for our consumers.
Moving on to the feasibility assessment.
For feasibility assessment, we have taken 3 criteria: financial feasibility, the market feasibility, and the technical feasibility. For physical feasibility, we're looking at our startup costs. These will be funded through government grants and subsidies. Break even is looking very good. We can easily make a profit, as well as a profit projection, and our contingency is very well planned out. Market feasibility depends on market demand. In the UAE, consumers are willing to be sustainable and they want to take action by themselves and not be a third party accessory to sustainability.
they want to take the action. So this drives up market demand for our product. Regulations, as the UAE government is trying to promote sustainability and consumer behavior channels of distribution. Our technical feasibility includes R&D, supply chain production, and integration of nanotechnology. And we like to conclude.
Moving on to a conclusion, why is our product the best here? We are concerning 3 SDG goals, SDG 3, SDG 7, SDG 13. Moreover, we are an original idea, not catapulting from already existing ideas, but being a new, fresh product. So we don't have to worry about competitors yet, as we are entering a market with a gap. Now, to say and to conclude, our students don't only produce energy, but changes lives, changes rural areas, and changes the country. Thank you.
Thank you, team. With that, we conclude all our presentations for today afternoon. We will now take a short 15-minute break to reconvene with the judges and get back with the final result. Until then, you can take a break, relax for the next 15 minutes, and all the very best to all of you.
Okay.
After sorting it.
Okay.
Is everybody good with yes?
Yeah.
It blows my mind that one of the teams that got it, in fact, the worst team in the EP that got them, is the 1 point.
Just a bit.
I'm impressed that they.
Or you share it on the That's okay. I'll be I'll update it on the I would like to call upon our game master, Mr. Dan, to announce the theme for next year's competition, followed by announcing the winners.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who are here and hopefully will be competing next year, the theme for next year is going to be the metaverse. So all of the cases will be around different aspects of virtual and augmented reality. That's something that we're seeing growth in and probably will see more for growth in over the next coming decades. But now for what you really want, the announcements of the winners.
If I could please request our judges, Ms. Shahara and Professor Khan, to join us on stage as well.
And I would like to recognize my fellow judges for all of the effort they put in. You cannot imagine how intense it is to, especially with the elevator pitches, mark 121 teams in a matter of 2 hours. So thank you.
As your team name gets called out, please proceed to walk to the stage to receive your trophy and medal.
And please come up on that side of the stage. So Professor Pond, if I could ask you to give out the awards for the most innovative solution. So the award today for the most innovative solution goes to Oryx Inc. from American. Congratulations. Okay, and Professor Pond will also be presenting the second runner-up, which is Feminine Fusion, the Millennium School. Thank you, Professor Pond. And now Ms. Shahara will be giving out the award for the first runner-up. The first runner-up is Quit Teams from Dubai College. Aren't you glad you didn't quit, right? Okay, now the winner of the Business Cup Challenge 2023. Very interesting situation. A team that came here today without a guaranteed slot and got it through the elevator pitch. So the winner today is Team Kaizen.
Now, in addition to the trophy and the medals that you have received, our winning team will be receiving a special prize courtesy of our support sponsors. So the winning team will be receiving an exclusive scholarship to study at Curtin University, Dubai for their undergraduate courses by the Transnational Academy. And the winners will also be receiving a free trip to Hungarian Dreams during their next trip. Congratulations, team. Let me clarify that again. Okay.